Am I wrong for my response when my sister's husband commented on my husband's manhood? My husband has been sick for a few months now and recently had surgery. My parents hosted dinner for him and invited the whole family. My sister's husband is the tell it as it is type of man. Basically, they're brutally honest. My sister says she loves him for his honesty, but because of it, we've had issues in the past. After dinner, we were sitting down while my husband was in another room. He was getting some rest. Mike looked at me and asked if my husband was still good in bed because he had read that when men get sick, their performance would get lower. I was floored by his question. Everyone was looking at me in silence. It was absolutely awkward. My sister smiled at me as a sign to let it go, but I responded, well, at least it's better than men who can't even impregnate their women. Now, this is where I might be the a-hole. Mike and my sister have suffered from infertility for years, and it's on Mike's side. This response caused a huge argument. Now, although Mike stormed off and didn't say anything, my sister went off calling me a parent and shaming me for going low and using her husband's infertility against him. I told her he insulted my husband's manhood, but she said I took this whole thing out of context and made it personal since he was just talking about men in general. After the argument, she and Mike left and my mom demanded I apologize. My husband didn't even know what we were arguing about. Mom told him I was arguing with my sister over dessert. Mom said I was in the wrong for hurting my sister's feelings with what I said and told me to apologize, but I still refused. Am I wrong? I mean, one thing I really hate is people who say things like, oh my God, you guys, I'm just blonde. They will say like the most disrespectful, demeaning, degrading thing to you. And then when you say, why would you say that? They're like, but I'm just so blunt. I'm just the truth teller. God forbid you tell them something about themselves and all of a sudden now you're the a-hole. Definitely not. OP is definitely not in the wrong because it sounds like this guy has been acting like this for a while, saying inappropriate, crazy things, and now he's just getting a piece of, the action. And the thing is, he said that in front of her family, her mom and her dad and her sibling. Like, that's disgusting. Why would you make it such a inappropriate comment at a time like this? Like, why do you care if he's getting in bed or not? Like, are you the one getting in bed with him? That's such a weird thing to be curious about. One of the commenters said, not the a-hole, you just told as it was. Of course not. You were rude, but the same type of rudeness your brother-in-law pretends to enjoy until it's used against him. Don't apologize. Next time he won't be rude toward you or your husband since he knows you can be rude too. Exactly. I feel like when people know that you're capable of the same, meanness or awfulness that they're capable of, then they might back off because why would you say such an inappropriate, like, that's so inappropriate. If someone said that to me, I don't know what I would say. Like, that's just such an inappropriate thing to say in front of your family. Joke or not, like, jokes are supposed to be funny. And why are you curious about this anyways? Okay, on to the next story. Am I wrong for canceling a meeting with my ex after finding out she was going to tell me that she's pregnant? We separated in 2021 and then divorced in 2022 after 6 years together. Basically, we wanted kids but found out I can't have them, and the relationship broke down over a disagreement about the potential fertility treatments and timescales of it all. She basically couldn't wait on the amount of counseling/therapy I need before I'd consider things like sperm donation. I'm 41, she's 34. As there wasn't a lot of animosity in the split, we were very civil. We've remained really good friends up until now. I'd be lying if I said there isn't still love there, especially on my end. We've met, spoke fairly regularly still, but I haven't seen her as much in the last 6 months, I'd say. I understand she was seeing someone but didn't know too much. I mean, good luck to her. She deserves happiness, right? At the start of the week, I received a random message from her asking if she could see me this weekend, asking if we could chat. I'm like, yeah, okay, but obviously a bit worried as it seemed very ominous. I say to my cousin who's still close to her about it, and she says something like, she's obviously wanting to talk about being pregnant. I kind of was floored, and my cousin was embarrassed. She thought I knew, which obviously I didn't. I called my ex asking if she's going to tell me she's pregnant, and she was shocked, asking how I knew, and I told her that my cousin told me. She was really angry and apologized for me finding out that way, which I said was cool. I told her then I don't really need her to come around now, as I know, and I don't think it warrants being told in person. She was upset but said she understood. We ended the call on a good note, but after thinking for a bit, I realized how hurt I felt, so I messaged her saying that I don't really think it's appropriate for us to be in contact. Now she's having a baby, so I don't want to see her anymore. She was really upset and was asking me to please call her, so I blocked her. My cousin then gets in touch with me, annoyed that I dumped her in with my ex and also that I've cut contact with my ex, saying I'm being too hasty, should talk about it with someone, etc. I tell her it's none of her business and basically leave it alone and to get to basically F off. Now my family have found out about it and are trying to talk me into it and forgive my cousin / speak to my ex. I mean, I see the a-hole. I don't know why he needs to talk to his ex anyways. Like, clearly he's saying that they left on a good terms, but her getting pregnant with another man, her moving on with another man so soon, he's not clearly feeling well about that. So if you're not really comfortable with someone, why would you want to be around them, like, it's weird. Sometimes being friends with your ex is not a good idea, y'all. Don't do it. Top comment, I mean, no, not the a-hole. However, if you haven't gotten therapy, you were talking about it yet, now it's probably a good time to start. Not because you are wrong for cutting her out of your life, but because you're very obviously not over the relationship or the fact that you aren't able to have children and you're worth the effort it takes to heal. Exactly. I feel like he needs to go to therapy and seek some sort of counseling, talk it out with someone, maybe vent out his frustrations, because clearly he's feeling some sort of way. For you to be with somebody for 6 years, for you guys to get a divorce, and then for her to move on so fast, and then now she's having a baby, and the entire time you were the issue, clearly it's gonna have some sort of like resentment. So yeah. Amira for wanting to divorce my husband because he added pee to my food. Okay, so I don't know if I'm losing it or what, but I, 32 female, been married to my husband, 36 male, for 4 years, and I don't know who the F I married anymore. So he's always had this weird fetish he told me about where he wanted me to pee on my face during intimacy, and I was like, no, just no. Never been into that. He asked a few times. I always shut it down. He never pushed it, so I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. A few months ago, I started noticing my food tasting weird. Not like bad, rotten, just off. Like my overnight oats, my yogurt bowl, sometimes my brewed coffee. I thought maybe the fridge was effing up, about everything else was fine. I threw out so much stuff thinking it was spoiled, but then it kept happening. But here's the thing, I never got sick. No stomach ache, no nothing. So I started to think maybe he was like poisoning me slowly, or I don't know, trying to drug me or something. But it wasn't even making me sick, so it made no sense. I was just stressed out. Also, like, why would he drug me? He's always loving, so it wasn't making sense. Told my friend about it, and she was like, oh, you need to put a camera on your fridge just in case, because it's just him and I living alone. Only other person coming over is our mom sometimes. So I did put the camera because I was losing my brain. Got a tiny one from Amazon, set it up, waited. This man, my husband, peeing in my overnight oats and my brewed coffee, took the lid off, peed, put the lid back, shook it, and put it, you guys, I can't even read this, put it back in the fridge like nothing happened. I thought I was going to throw up right there. I lost it. I went full psycho. I broke his PS5, his TV, threw his clothes outside in the snow, messed up his shoes, everything. He came home and I just screamed at him. He started crying, begging, saying it was his fetish. And he thought it was a way to do it without me knowing. Like, what the F? Like, does he think that makes it better? He said he will go to therapy. We can put cameras all over the house. He will never do it again. He said we took vows and we have to work through this. Like, no. Saw these people on TikTok advice asking on Reddit. So here I am needing the outside perspective. I'm at my friend's place right now. I haven't told anyone else. I don't know what the F to do. He's blowing up my phone saying I'm ruining our marriage over this mistake. Peeing in somebody's food consistently because you want to fulfill some sort of nasty fetish they said no to begin with is not a damn mistake, but okay. But like, this ain't a mistake. This is like effing vile. You guys, why does she keep saying like? And I can't look at him the same. Am I the ill for wanting to divorce, or should I try to forgive him? Because I really just want to vomit forever. I would vomit forever too. OP is writing stressing me out. But you guys, this is disgusting. Have you guys seen that story on TikTok where this lady was like, oh, every time my husband confessed to me, every single time we're doing it, that he pees inside me? Like, what is going on? There was another story of where this man was putting, it was a Reddit story. He was putting it's like something that makes you lose weight in his girlfriend's food, and his brother exposed that to her and saying, oh, my brother puts this type of thing in your food. Like, what is going on? People are so vile. Ew.